I've always considered myself an equal opportunities watch nerd. I'm no snob, but every so often something comes across my desk that I just keep coming back to. It's been a long old road for me, and at this point I've gone through homages, budget, mid-range and luxury pieces, but nothing compares to this. It's the watch I've always needed to experience, but never knew I wanted. What on earth am I talking about? Well, my dear watch nerds, it is the stunning Omega Aqua Terra, a near perfect everyday watch that has everything I need, and possibly, well, anyone needs. Well, it better be for the price. So my Aqua Terra is rather unique. The reference number of this one is 231104222030001. It is also known by collectors as being the Aqua Terra Day Date. It's not, it's just known by me as being the Aqua Terra Day Date, but I'm going to get it trending. My measurements on the specs, 41mm in diameter, 14mm thickness, but once you discount the protruding case back and don't sapphire crystal, you have closer to an 11mm. A lug to lug of 48.6mm and a lug width, of course, of 20mm. Omegas are well known for their anti-reflective coating and brilliant sapphire crystal, and it is no different here. We actually have two additional complications, and I'll talk about the movement in just a moment, but we have a date at the 6 o'clock and a slightly smaller triangle to accommodate, and in lieu of the 12 marker we actually have a really attractive day window which displays the full day. Both are in a kind of silver colour, not white, and I think that's a pretty cool effect. The rest of the dial is marked with triangles and kind of look like fangs. You have a minute track on the outer edge, and the dial underneath the day window you can see the applied Omega logo with the printed Seamaster underneath it, and above the 6 you get the famous coaxial chronometer, 150 metres or 500 feet water resistance. Now the dial is finished in a deep blue colour, which is sunburst and has a great effect. Along with the vertical teaking and deck style on the dial, it is something I find really attractive, and it is now a signature of Omega Aqua Terra watches. Now this model is a 2017 model, and this particular configuration has been around since 2012. This was one of the last models in this run. It's now discontinued, and because they didn't sell many at the time, it is considered rare and collectible and can trade for a premium on the used market. I actually didn't know this at the time, so managed to bag it for a bit of a steal. Now obviously if you are going second hand, you guys need to make sure that you buy on the platform and through an authenticity program, or through trusted sites like Chrono24 and Watchfinder. I did a video on this a while back and I'll link it in the description below, as I think it's really important when buying safely online. Okay, public announcement over. I'm going to talk about the movement, which is a little different from the standard Omega caliber 8500 movement of the time. So this movement is the caliber 8602, a deviation from the 8500 series, which is a predecessor to the newer 8800. It hacks, hand winds, and of course is chronometer spec. This watch in particular since December has been running at around -1 second a day, which makes me pretty happy. It has 39 joules, has a frequency of 25,200 and a 55-hour power reserve. It has a silicon balance spring, a free sprung balance, 2 barrels mounted in series, automatic winding in both directions to reduce winding time, rhodium plated balance bridge and oscillating mass, and of course luxury finishing with exclusive Geneva waves. This is all available to be viewed, by the way, through a fantastic sapphire caseback. You will note on this model that it lacks a jumping hour hand, and there is of course a reason for this. The 8602 movement supplements the jumping hour complication for an instantaneous day-date change. It is snappy and it is pretty cool. Say it with me, pretty cool will be coming up quite a bit in this review. Winding the movement also feels so bloody smooth in hand. This watch unfortunately doesn't have the 15,000 Gauss anti-magnetic features of the newer ones, or at least I can't see it on the specs anywhere online. It will have anti-magnetic properties, however, maybe a few thousand Gauss, but to be honest, I would expect this from most, if not all, luxury watches or luxury sports watches. as a minimum. So to cap off this admittedly lengthier review than I was planning, I'm going to talk about two things: the dial and the wearing experience. I don't talk about the finishing because to me it is perfect, and even the polished center links are gorgeous in my opinion. I don't know what everyone gets so fussy about. So let's get the wearing over with. It actually doesn't suck, believe it or not. I know the measurements of 14mm thick and 41.5mm as it says on the website, although I got 41mm, seems really high, but the 1mm of that thickness is the sapphire crystal and 2mm of it is the screw-in display case back, so it wears closer to 12mm in thickness. I kid you not, it isn't. It is a bit of a chameleon on the wrist. The lyre lugs as well help with the compact lug to lug. It brings down the diameter to make it feel more like a 40 to 40.5mm. So moral of the story is, try it on before you decide something is just too big. I would say anyone with a 7-inch wrist or higher will be well serviced here. Secondly is the dial. Now, I originally wasn't a massive fan of blue. I always preferred black, white and green, but this blue has done something strange to me. The deep blue with sunburst effect reflecting off that gorgeous teaking makes the dial look like a bit of a chameleon that changes its look constantly dependent on the lighting. Sometimes this watch looks properly blue, other times it's a deep blue even closer to black, and then the sunburst effect just comes in and out of nowhere, and at certain angles it just adds to the dimensions of this watch along with the teaking on the dial. It's just amazing. So again, if you ever written off a colour, my advice to you would just be, just try it on first. You never know. So in conclusion, the Aqua Terra is almost a near perfect everyday watch for most people, and dare I say, an ultimate Garda watch. After all, Aqua Terra means sea and land, and it is the ultimate watch in many respects. My bad boy, or this bad boy, I shouldn't really say my bad boy, this bad boy can look amazing on the beach and in the boardroom. The screw down crown and bezel-less case makes it so versatile, in fact more versatile than a Seamaster 300, and the sheer range of sizes, complications, colours and finishing means that there is something out there for almost everyone. Seriously, I would say that this could make the argument of a better all-rounder than the Rolex Explorer, the Tudor Ranger, the Tag Heuer Carrera, Grand Seiko or any other three-handers at a similar price bracket. And I'm really nailing my colours to the mast here, but I think it really is in with a shout of it. And if you don't want to shell out for the newer models, you don't have to, because the style, and you don't like the style of the teak dial as well, that's another point. If you don't like it, then the older ranges of both quartz and automatic are still available and are quite reasonably priced now. Yes, they don't have the same level of innovation, but they are much cheaper, and they still have amazing finishing that you would love to have as an everyday watch. And if you've got a smaller wrist as well, they are thinner, so that helps for you too. Anyway, what's your favourite go anywhere, do anything watch? Let me know in the comments below. I think you already know my thoughts. See you later, watch nerds.